Joining me now is someone who is all too familiar with life down at the southern border, Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs. Congressman, it's great to have you back on the program. 2 million migrant encounters in this fiscal year of 2022. As I said in my intro, we've heard these numbers so much, hundreds of thousands and millions of illegal aliens coming through, so much that people are just kind of numb to it now. They don't understand how serious this is, but people in Arizona certainly do.
Yeah, Addison, 2 million encounters. What that means is people who've either been arrested or surrendered. Most of those have surrendered. But don't forget, you also have probably a million people who got away. And released this morning is they caught 12 people on the terrorist watch list last month. That means out of that other million, how many people on the terrorist watch list got in? How many people who were related to a criminal organization got in? How many with violent criminal backgrounds? How much fentanyl? How much sex and human trafficking going on? You know, Addison, we see it every day on the border in Arizona. Over 1,000 people apprehended every day in Yuma, Arizona. And the cost and the impact to our communities along the border and in the Southwest is staggering. And, then you get to think of Martha's Vineyard, they get 50 people and they freak out.
Yeah, which is like I said on the show the other day, is like 0.00001%. I mean, it's infinitesimal
Right,
compared to who pours in across the border every hour. Every hour,
right.
Congressman. And he brought up the fentanyl crisis. I played the clip at the top of the show. You even have Biden's DEA saying that this is unlike anything that we've had to deal with. The amount of fentanyl coming across the border and poisoning the American people.
Yeah, and I'm glad you used the word poisoning because I think of it that way too. China is providing all the precursor drugs and helping to manufacture fentanyl pills and powder south of the border, and then the drug cartels facilitate transport and logistical support to get into the United States. It is poisoning. I think it is a chemical poisoning, and I think it's being willfully done. You have over 100,000 people killed last year, and untold tens of thousands or more this year because of fentanyl.
And Congressman, you were just recently talking about the America First agenda. I know back in May you unveiled the America First contract, which is the most comprehensive Republican contract in 25 plus years. And this is something that I don't see a lot of elected officials doing. Certainly, we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, we have Paul Gosar, but a lot of the softer Republicans just use this vague rhetoric. They don't really actually want to take harsh action. And I know that you have been a standout in Congress for being decisive. You and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Marjorie introducing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden, against Merrick Garland. You guys are actually going on offense, something that your partners could certainly learn from.
Yeah, I introduced articles of impeachment against Secretary Mayorkas, who I
Yeah.
think is the most culpable of anybody because he's willfully telling his ICE folks don't enforce the law. He's telling CBP don't enforce the law. He is hindering law enforcement and putting the country in danger. I view those as impeachable offenses, plus a whole slew of others. But the reality is, I think Republicans have to go on the offensive. I think the American people need us to go on the offensive on everything from energy policy to inflation measures. We've got to solve that, and of course the border. And if we're going to sit by passively, then we're not going to succeed in getting this country and preserving this country and the freedoms that we all love and want to give to the next generation, your generation, Addison, and then the next generation after that. If we're going to be free and healthy as a nation, we've got to protect our current status and get back to a better status. And the first thing that goes bad when you have national disintegration is always in the integrity of your border, and that impacts your sovereignty. And that's what we see being attacked by the Biden administration every single day.
Very grateful for elected officials like you, Congressman Biggs. Thank you so much for joining the show, for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Addison. Take care. Keep fighting the fight.